Look at this. 70% of her cabinet, including her, had urged the country to stay in the European Union and told us that it was in our best interests and that leaving would damage the country. Just 7 greyed out were leavers. The rest were all strong remainers. But after the referendum, suddenly they morphed into Brexiters. What happened to principles, I wonder? So there is now two-faced Tories. They weren't in it for principles. What were they in it for? I think power. But look at some of these. For example, before the EU referendum, Theresa May said, "I believe it's clearly in our national interest to remain a member of the European Union." But after the referendum, she said, "Leaving the EU presents us with a world of opportunities, and I'm determined to seize them." Before the referendum, Jeremy Hunt, the Health Secretary, said, "A strong NHS needs a strong economy. We should not put that at risk with Brexit." But after the referendum, he said, "Brexit can be a great catalyst for change in health and social care." These are the same people, but with different policies now. And before the referendum, Boris Johnson, sporting his President Trump hairstyle, said, "It's surely a boon for the world and for Europe that Britain should be intimately engaged in the EU." He wrote that in a column for The Telegraph when he thought that he would be supporting the Remain campaign, then hovered and decided that it was in his best interests not to. And after the referendum, he said, "We want to engage with the world again in a way that we haven't been able to do for 43 years. This is a myth. Because in the EU, we have the best of both worlds. In the EU, we can trade with our most important customers and suppliers right on our doorstep, where almost 50% of our imports and exports come from and go to, and we can have trade with the rest of the world. It doesn't have to be, and has never been, either or. So this was a myth. And then we had David Davis. Before the referendum, he said, "If a democracy cannot change its mind, it ceases to be a democracy." He said that in 2012, when he was desperate to get another referendum to get us out of the EU. But now we're out, he doesn't want to give us another chance in case we change our mind. Because after the referendum, he said, there must be no attempt to remain in the EU, no attempt to rejoin by the back door, and no second referendum. Clearly, he's pro-democracy.